on Mulesoft integration, the Mule ESB. So, like I said, in this particular session, we'll be covering about integration into messaging services. So, a big question is why messaging servers? Why messaging services? Like, what's the need? You understand by at this point in time, you understand why you APIs, because there are quite a lot of APIs out there. So you understand the use. So why messaging services? Why messaging servers? So, from experience, messaging servers just are lightweight. They actually used for very when you actually you're dealing with little bandwidth or very equipments that move very that you move frequently. So, like you want to track cars or you want to track your pickup trucks. So basically, that's what we are trying to do. Um, so IoT, in the world of IoT, we use a lot of messaging servers. So like you can see different IoT platforms. There's quite some popular ones out there, um, but that's really one of the major use of use of messaging services. So today we'll be focusing on GMS, which is Java Messaging Services. Java Messaging Services. So basically that is the reason why we are doing it, because integration we also need to integrate to IoT platforms or integrate with IoT devices. So in this scenario, what are we trying to do? We are just trying to in this scenario, what are we trying to do? We're just trying to integrate send information from one of our IoT devices back to our system. So that information can actually be read, can actually be saved into our database. So that's the beauty about it. We send informations from our data from we can send from a system to the IoT platform or the messaging server, or we can send from the messaging server back to our Mulesoft platform. So basically, when we are sending outwards, what we are doing is we are publishing. So basically, that's what we are doing. We are doing a publish operation when we are sending outward. When we are sending inward, basically what we want to do, we want to listen for this. So we are subscribing. We are subscribing to that particular event or to that particular service. So basically, what also I wrote about topics and queues. Topics and queues are basically similar. So, but it's just that when you want a one-to-one communication, you go for queues. But when you want to like talk to many devices at the same time, you would go for topic. So for today's tutorial, we would be using ActiveMQ, because I feel it has a very an amazing integration with Mulesoft. That's why we are using this. But however, I can feel free to explore other servers, other platforms. There's Mosquito out there, but for this tutorial, I'm just going with the ActiveMQ. So I'll just show you how to set it up. So basically, just need to ActiveMQ, search for this online. You click on the first link. So you just go to download latest. At this point in time, I tried trying to download this, it did not work. Let's see, it gave me this error. But what I just did, I just go to download past releases, and I go to 15.10, and this works. I am able to download this. So you just click on this. So let's see whether I've downloaded mine. I'll just verify if I've downloaded mine. My downloads. So I've downloaded one. So I'm just going to extract this. I'm going to extract this into a folder. I'll just extract this. It's pretty quick, and remember, these are Mulesoft Studio. We'll be continuing with WePost scenarios. I've covered over 6 scenarios, a lot of scenarios, from FTP to database, JSON to different services, XML services, JSON payloads. Also, we have also used the scheduler tool, which is an amazing it's amazing, because sometimes you're not actually going to be communicating with directly with APIs. You need a trigger point, and that's why we use the scheduler. So we just wait for this to be done. So there's some basics to note out when working with the ActiveMQ. So basically, when we launch this ActiveMQ, I'll show you how to launch it. It's still trying to extract. We have what we have two URLs that are very important for us. First of all, we have a web URL. A web URL is a web portal. It's where you can actually interface with the system itself. So basically, you can actually use command prompts, typing your message through command prompts. But hey, we are in 2020, we are in 2021. There are many easier ways of doing things rather than going through the command prompts and typing a lot of code. We can actually use a site that is actually on your browser, your favorite browser, be it Internet Explorer, Chrome, Mozilla. You'll be able to check the site. So basically, this is the site we'll be working with, and also whenever I want to listen whenever I want to listen or want to broadcast a signal, it changes. So basically now we are not more using the port. This port allows us to see to communicate with the device. But however, when we want to communicate with this device, either using Mole ASB or using through another technology, this the Active MQ provides us a different port, a different type of communication, a type. So it allows us to communicate via TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, and the port is 61.6. It helps us just communicate. However, if this is you're hosting this on a real server, like uh, and in subsequent tutorials we'll be hosting this on a real server. So what all you just need to do is to change the IP address. So basically, I'm running this on a local host. This will be on local host, and this will be on local host. And as for new users, your password will always be admin. You don't need to get because it's always asks you for the password whenever you try to set it up. So we just hold on some few seconds and just wait for this to be done. Um, in the meantime, I tried a new scenario. So we'll call this JMS, Java Messaging Service listing. Sorry. So this we are like you can see we have covered a lot of projects, and this are actually available to you on request. It's a very this is a very rich series. Um, yeah, it's a very rich series. So it covers a huge integrating from different points. Any points that you probably when on your first project you would come across three or more of these points. So that's the idea. We expose you to the to a huge number of scenarios that you're prepared for your project right away. Basically, there's no installation. It's pretty easy. There's no what we want to do here is go to this bin. Want to go? Okay, so I just come back on the we click on the root folder. You open the file again, the folder again. You go to the bin directory, and you either have Win32 or Win64. I'm currently working on Windows, and I'm using a 64-bit. So you do this, and all you just need to do is to click on active. It's a batch job. A batch file. So you just click on Active MQ, and it tries to set. So it tries to set it up for you. So it tells it's launching a JVM, a Java Virtual Machine. Quite a lot of interesting things out here. Telling us, okay, so you can see, the web console is on HTTP colon 0.0.0.0 colon 8061. So this is our web console or web portal. Also, is this complete? Yeah, I think it's up. Everything seems fine. Okay, we can go ahead. So we go to the just go to our local host. We copy this here. We copy this because we have already sent this. We go there. So basically, we come here. So this is now we are currently on a local host. You have set up the ActiveMQ. So understand now there's a difference between the web portal and the communication portal. for the web portal is what you want to see, but when you want to communicate with whatever device, it gives you different ports to do that. However, you can actually manipulate this if you're as a network administrator, as an expert. You can actually go and if your port 8161 is being used, you can actually change this in the configuration file, but we keep things pretty simple in this tutorial. So I'm just going to click on manage active MQ broker. So like I said, the username and password is admin. So it takes us to like a page like the dashboard where we can actually set things up. So welcome to this welcome to the console of. So this, if you're on a real server, you use it to show you the real port number. So like I explained what are queues and what are topics. So I'm just going to create a queue. So, and the good thing, it tells you how long this has been. So like if you're on a real server, this should be like running 2 years, decades, yeah. So you can actually create queues or topics depending on if you want to do a one-to-one communication or you want to do a one-to-many communication. So I'm just going to create a queue. It's pretty simple. Create a queue and try to listen to the queue. That's what we want to achieve here. So basically, over projects we have a naming convention, convention. So we just do queue dot whatever name your organization is. So the name of our organization is we post, and the name of this particular the name of this particular what are we trying to listen for, what this particular process, what is it called? So we are just for this we are just calling this trucks, because basically we are just using this particular to manage trucks in the organization. That's the idea. We just want it, trucks to be able to communicate when they are put on. We just want them to be able to send a signal back to GMS, and GMS can process it. It can either send it to the database or process it further. So basically we have created a queue called we post queue underscore we post underscore trucks. So we can come here, we can we can come to the queues, and if you want to send a message, you click on send to, and you put in your message here. So basically you don't actually, this is not what happens in real life. In real life you actually use you can actually use IoT devices to actually send the signals. So it comes here and it goes back to your Mulesoft application. So basically let's try and configure this in Mulesoft. So the first thing we want to do in Mulesoft is to look for a listener. So now you need to be aware. Sometimes you won't see a listener depending on your version of Mulesoft. So like that's why I said it's good you follow this tutorial, because we talk about tips and tricks. So basically you're looking for a listener which is not a HTTP listener. You're looking for a GMS listener. However, on my version it's called on new message. So I just search for GMS, Java Messaging Services. I just drag this on new messaging. So this is basically a listener. Yeah, I just okay. Let's run the project. So it doesn't take time when we want to run it the first time. So let's run this. Yep. So let's connection. So the first thing I want to do is to configure the communication ports. So I click on new. This is the first time I'm configuring this. So what I'm trying to do here is, the first thing I want to do is to choose the libraries. So what I do simply is I just click this first one, and I said add recommended library from the internet, just directly from the internet. It's way easier, because if not you have to set them individually, look for the right files. I just do add one, it completes the rest for me. So this takes some few seconds, some minutes. Wait. So like I've worked on a couple of IoT projects. The idea is pretty simple: communicating with low files. So that's what we are trying to do. Then the next thing here was the username and password we came across. We used admin. Change on a real project. You have to secure your project. You actually change these passwords. So the next thing we want to do is we need to add the URL of the communication ports. So we to add the communication port, we just click on connection factory. We do add inline. So this gives us um, the opportunity to add a name. What we do is we copy this port. So basically, you have to be you don't communicate on HTTP, you communicate on a TCP port. And this is the ports we have. Later, I'll show you how to actually verify this, find the port you're running on. So I'm just going to test this to see whether the any communicates. It's going to communicate with the any active MQ server. So it's taking a few seconds. Okay, it's failed. Let's see why. Um, Connection. Oh, sorry, I removed this. Test connection. Oh, why could this be giving us this error? I just verify. This is up and running. Yeah. Let's see. Send. Okay, it's up. And I'm going to come here. Um, Factory settings. I think we done. No, I think I've just a lot of things that actually wrong with the settings. So I'll just go back here and verify. I'm using ActiveMQ. Yes, I think it's good you say this because sometimes things happen during projects. We don't know. So I'm going to use GMS 1.1. This is default. I think I changed it when I scrolled. Yeah. There's no client ID. I think there's something wrong with my settings. No caption. Yeah. Okay, okay, sorry. This is okay. Okay, I mistake. Sorry, this is not the right place. I'm not supposed to come to the connection factory. I'm supposed to work on the factory configuration. So I do this none, and I said I do inline here. So I'm the one that made the mistake. So basically, what I'm trying to do is to put my URL here, and I'm going to test this thing to see whether I can communicate. I hope it works this time. Yeah, so it's great. So I click on OK. Okay, so basically, what is the destination we want to be listening to here? Is your the destination here is the name of the queue, and that is this. And what is the consumer type? We can be working with a topic or a queue. So, but because we defined a queue, we'll just put queue. And the last thing we just want to put on this tutorial is the logger, just to put relay out. And we just want to say the payload. We want to okay, say publish out the payload. So and we are done. Save it and the console if you have problems. It takes a while to build. So I think it's better we just this logger we refine the message. Received new message from queue. So at least we know the particular message that we are logging out to the output. Come back to the goal. and wait for this to run. I think it needs to rebuild. Okay, so what do we want to do next is we want to go and send a message and just say, okay, truck one is online. So basically, it's a simple. We are doing a scenario where whenever a truck comes on, we send it back to Mule ESB to just say, okay, I'm available online. You can communicate with me. That's the beauty of this. It's a simple scenario, but it drives home the point. So I think we are done. Let us send this message now. I'm going to send this send, and it's once. Let's verify in Mule ESB. We can see received new message from Q truck one. So it's amazing because it shows us how to be able to communicate with GMS, Active MQS, or other mosquito or other services like Mosquito. So it's the same principle for publish, subscribe, either working with queue or topics. Sometimes you might need to variabilize, use variables for to make your programs more adaptable. But this is the general concept, and thanks for this tutorial. If you have questions, don't feel free to put in our forums or in the comment section. We'll get back to you.